Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining in today and listening into Accountant Showcase. This is where we are speaking with accountants on a daily basis and just trying to get more insight onto their stories, their ideas, and how they become a CPA. And today, very excited to have CPA Practice Advisor 2021 40 under 40 honoree, Jessica McClain. Jessica, thank you for taking time out this morning and joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, let's see. Where do I start? So recently I took on the new role as the Chief Financial Officer for the Girl Scouts Council of the nation's capital. Very exciting as I'm a former Girl Scout myself. Prior to that, I spent most of my career in public accounting as an auditor. I worked at KPMG, large four firm, down to a small niche firm based in the Washington, D.C. area, which is where I'm from. Additionally, I also am a part-time adjunct professor teaching at Nichols College as part of their master's in accounting program. Outside of my full-time job, my part-time job, I'm very active in the accounting profession, sitting on the Maryland Association of CPA Boards, the Greater Washington Society of CPA Board, and I also give back to my community as part of the board for the Maryland 529, which is the college savings plan of Maryland. With that, even two young kids at home, so I keep myself pretty busy, pretty busy.
Yeah, that's a full schedule. And but but let's go way back now. So how did you get what made you want to be a CPA or just in the get into the accounting profession? Tell us about that story.
I love telling this story. I was a young child. I always tell people I had a part-time or substitute teacher that one day I saw she had a lot of money in her pocket. I remember asking her, "What do you do to have so much money?" And she said she was a tax accountant. So I knew probably around the age of, 7, 8, or 9 that I knew I wanted to be in the accounting profession. So I graduated from high school, went to college and majored in accounting and actually ended up changing my major from accounting to business because I only thought accountants were either bean counters or did taxes. And I said, oh my God, that is so boring, not interesting or fun at all. So I changed my major to business administration. I graduated from Towson University with my undergrad degree and went to work full time after that, but then had this chance to meet a CPA who I worked with in the federal government. And she opened my eyes to what the accounting profession has to offer. So much more than just taxes or just journal entries. And I actually then decided to go back to graduate school full time and get my master's in accounting. And I joined KPMG after that.
And so from 5 years ago until now, how do you think the accounting profession has changed? Do you think it's changing for the better? Do you think it's changing in the right direction? Do you think that technology is becoming more embraced in this industry? Can you share your thoughts on that?
Gosh, yeah, definitely 5 years. I feel like the profession is changing every year. The aspect of technology and how now our profession is embracing it, whether it's new tools that auditors are using as part of their,
Mhm.
even the CPA exam is changing as well, intertwining in that aspect of technology into the exam. I definitely believe the profession is changing for the better. There's another great push for diversity, equity, and inclusion to bring that diversity that's needed within our profession as well. So whether we're talking about technology, whether we're talking about the change in the CPA exam, the change in the makeup of the workforce of the accounting profession, we're definitely moving in the right direction. Is there always still more work to do? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the things that we're focusing on now may be very different from what we're focusing on in 4 to 5 years. There's a new aspect of ESG, environmental, social, and governance, that firms are now getting into as well. So that's another area that people can work in within our profession. So people ask me, how do we see the profession 5 to 10 years from now? It is hard to say because 10 years ago or 12 years ago, when I started in the profession, we weren't talking about cybersecurity. Now that's something us in the accounting profession need to know and understand. So I can only imagine what we'll be talking about in 5 to 10 years, but definitely the profession is changing for the better.
I agree. I agree. And um, I a few years back, I work with accounts on a daily basis and speaking with them. Um, it's funny to look at this now. The word remote, the word virtual, right, was caused a lot of anxiety and nervousness.
Absolutely.
And I would have to allot 10 minutes for just to set up the Zoom aspect of it. And come now, right, and everyone was pushed into this environment. And even though the tools have been around for a very long time, uh, what are your thoughts on this, the virtual remote environment, but also in regards to why is there staffing shortages going on too?
So I will say when I was back in public accounting, I had started to work in a kind of remote, flexible environment starting in 2015, 2016.
Okay.
And so the firm I worked at the time, it wasn't new when it all hit everyone back in 2020 with COVID. Um, it's sad to say many firms didn't embrace, or even the clients didn't embrace the ability to still provide great client service in a remote environment. It doesn't change the quality of the work that we were producing. It didn't change the relationships. You can still have strong quality relationships. I think again, COVID gave people an eye into, guess what? People can be flexible. People can work remotely. We can hire people across the country and still get work done, still serve our clients, still make money. It's sad that this was what had to happen for, I don't know, partners at firms or managing partners at firms to open their eyes to see this. However, there's no way you can go back. So if you think you can go back to that 5 days a week, every day in the office, if you already think you have staffing shortage problems, they're only going to exacerbate and become worse. I see the remote work as an opportunity to help with these staffing issues. And this is something across every industry is experiencing it, not just our profession, everyone. I look at it from where I work with the Girl Scouts now and how we're trying to have staffing shortages in some of our areas. Have nothing to do with accounting, but it's a major issue. We need to be flexible and open-minded when it comes to hiring for our positions and truly saying, taking that step back to say, can this person operate in a remote environment? And if you feel as though a lot of times they can't, I've learned it's actually an issue of lack of trust. Employees.
Yeah, and
Each mentality, a lot of times it's, well, if you don't trust them, you couldn't trust them to work remotely, they shouldn't be working for you at all.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that. So
I agree. Trust follows performance, and so and I feel that the firm needs to kind of why should a candidate, why should that candidate work for this specific firm? I think that's become more important now, and with all the options available, and so you have to make yourself the firm attractive, flexible.
yes.
Absolutely agree. What are they doing to, recruit new talent, bring in new talent? And I find that, it's just not you graduate and you got a job right now. It's a different mindset in this day and age.
Absolutely.
And so I want you to share your thoughts on now that everyone's remote, virtual, right? We also have the whole staff and that can work for you offshore. And so what are your thoughts on offshoring now and where this could also help the community in the future?
It's interesting. I remember when I was at KPMG, so this is 2008, 2009, 2010, and there were already the discussions then of offshoring and finding staff. And it's a global economy that we're working in now. It's not just your state or this country, it's global. And why should we close our doors to finding that talent that's needed offshore? And there's nothing wrong with that. And so I've heard firms having these conversations 10, 12, 11, 13 years ago about offshoring services that could be done by others. And the purpose of it, or the reason behind it, was we can offshore some of these activities so the staff that we bring in here that's in the States can do more value add work, not redundant work that a machine can do or others can do. And it was a way to make the positions for the associate level at firms even more attractive, to say, look at the interesting work you're going to do day one out the gate.
Yeah.
There's not just this ticketing time. Somebody else can do that. We have very value add client relationship work that you could be doing early on in your career. And we need to continue to talk about that to attract individuals to our profession. Because the numbers of students graduated with accounting degrees is dropping. I mean, just college enrollments are dropping in general. So we have to continue to find ways to attract students to the profession and show the interesting work that we can do. And if there's ways to have offshoring help do that, say, why not?
Yeah, no, spot on. I absolutely agree with everything you said. And so now when you have free time, what does Jessica like to do for fun?
So let's see, I am a huge Washington football team fan, huge, but I have season tickets. So today I'll be watching the game that comes on in a couple of hours. COVID, love to travel. It's been a little hard, of course, with COVID, but hopefully slowly we can get back into more of a travel routine, as we like to say. That's my time to take a breather, relax, take a break from the children that I love so much, but mommy sometimes still needs a break. And I love to read. I try to get a good 15 minutes a day. That's most of the time I can fit in. But that's what I like to do in that spare time and try to get a little workout in here and there. Nice walk if the weather's nice, just to keep that energy going because I need it with all that I do.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I'm big on fitness myself and travel. I absolutely agree. Work hard, play hard, have fun. Yes. So Jessica, really appreciate you taking some time sharing your insights with us today. And any final thoughts before we go?
I'm going to say Girl Scout cookies are going to be on sale in the next couple of months. Get your cookies.
Love them. I'm ready for it. Awesome. All right. Well, hey, thanks again. Appreciate your time. Best of luck with this new position and take care for now. All righty.
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you.